Hi, welcome back, little magpies. If you're thinking, hey, I'm not a little magpie, that's not my channel, I'll tell you what a little magpie is. Children that like to take something for themselves from a book. Children that like to learn from authors, artists, and I can promise you that authors, artists feel super special when children want to take something from them and make their own. Like the lesson I learned from this book, written by Oliver Jeffers, a fantastic author. I've got a whole pile of books written by this author, and my grade 2 is going to read his books throughout the next week because we're celebrating Literacy Week. So that's our author. We love his books. And that's your first story with Miss Magpie. Lost and Found. Spoiler alert! Hey, Mr. Oliver Jeffers, have you just told us what the story is going to end? How the story is going to end? Hey, when I think about it, do you want to know what's going to be between the lost and found? Life is about a journey. It's not about a destination. It's not important where we get, but how we get there, right? So let's find out who got lost, what got found, and how. Well, a suitcase. There is a promise of a journey. I've got mine ready. Lost and Found. Oliver Jeffers. Once there was a boy, and one day he found a penguin at his door. What a strange visitor. Have you ever had a penguin knocking at your door? Have you ever had any other creature knocking at your door? The boy didn't know where it had come from, but it began to follow him everywhere. The penguin looked sad, and the boy thought it must be lost. So the boy decided to help the penguin find its way home. He went to an office. It says Lost and Found Office. He checked in the Lost and Found office, but no one was missing a penguin. He asked some birds if they knew where the penguin came from, but they ignored him. Some birds are like that. Have you ever tried talking to a bird? Not much use. I mean, they're great for singing. They really are wonderful singers, but I never got any information from them. Well, he's not giving up. He keeps trying. So the boy asked his duck, but the duck floated away. He didn't know. I like that. He saw the problem and he thought of solutions, and he went to get some help. Well, that night, the boy couldn't sleep for disappointment. He wanted to help the penguin, but he didn't know how. What would you do next? Can you think of another solution? Are there any more places he could go to? Any more people he could ask for help? The next morning, he discovered that penguins come from the South Pole. But how could he get there? I like that he thought of reaching for a book and doing a background check and just finding information. He ran down to the harbor and asked a big ship to take them to the South Pole. But his voice was much too small to be heard over the ship's horn, you see? So, together, he and the penguin would row to the South Pole. The boy took his rowboat out of the cupboard and they tested for the size and strength. Look at the penguin measuring its width and the boy using the hammer to make sure that everything is nice and tight and it's working. Well, they packed everything they would need. Well, what do you pack on a journey like that? What would you pack if you were going to the South Pole in such boat? I love the boat they have on the front cover here too. Look at that. An umbrella, huh? I wonder if this was one of the things that they were testing. I wonder if they were testing their ideas. Wow, that took a lot of preparation. Now, they packed everything they would need. I wonder if they had some, I don't know, chocolate, books, Some of my children had brilliant ideas. What would you pack? And together they pushed the rowboat out to sea. They rowed south for many days and nights with the boy telling stories all the way. The penguin listened to everything that the boy said. So much time. Wouldn't you love to have so many days and nights to be telling stories with your friends, telling stories to each other? What a great time to bond. They floated through good weather and bad. When the waves were as big as mountains, look at the waves, until they came to the South Pole. The boy was delighted, but the penguin said nothing. Suddenly, it looked sad again as the boy helped it out of the boat. Why would he get sad? Well, look at the South Pole. Isn't that where he comes from? Well, do you see anyone waiting here for him? What could be going through the penguin's mind that made him feel so sad? Welcome to the South Pole. Look at that lonely sign. Would you want to stay here? Well, there are lots of ice slides and lots of things that penguins would enjoy. Well, let's see. The boy said goodbye and floated away. But as he looked back, the penguin looked sadder than ever. It felt strange to be on his own. And the more he thought, the more he realized he was making a big mistake. The penguin wasn't lost. He was just lonely. Quickly, he turned the boat around and headed back to the South Pole as fast as he could. Look at him heading back. Look at that iceberg. But what's behind that iceberg? Look at that. That is a penguin on that umbrella. Oh, I can see. Is he sliding down? Is he having fun or is he heading? Well, there is an arrow pointing at that direction. And the boy is going in the opposite direction. Where's the penguin going? What do you think? Can they see each other? At last, he reached, the boy that is, he reached the pole again. But where was the penguin? The boy searched and searched, but he was nowhere to be found. The penguin, that is. Sadly, the boy set off for home. There was no point telling stories because there was no one to listen except the wind and the waves. But then the boy saw something in the water ahead of him. Closer and closer he got until he could see. What could he see? What could he see? The penguin! Look at them, reunited. Now you know where the penguin was going. And so the boy and his friend went home together, talking of wonderful things all the way. The end. Oh, Mr. Oliver Jeffers, thank you for telling us the story. I don't mind that we knew how it was going to end because it's all about the journey. Those two became friends. And that was very unlikely, I first thought. But if you care and you show compassion, that means you think about how the other person feels and you put yourself in their position. That's when the story begins. And then the journey just shows you together that your heart is where your home is, where your heart is. And that we really feel wonderful when we belong to someone. Oh, what a great story. Good night. Sleep tight, little magpies. Bye-bye. See you at Magpie Yard.